quite right that she wakes up and she gets to interact with people, wonderful people around the world. And this evening, I know she's got quite a few guests, quite a few people that she actually invited. So can I just see a show of hands, guys? Everybody that's here this evening to learn more from Harsheila, everybody that tuned in from all over the world, all over the planet, can we give it up? Big noise. Let's get that energy going. Let's get it going, right? And it gives me a great pleasure this evening to invite to the call a colleague, but someone that I can actually call a great friend. So Harsheila, thank you very much for being here this evening. Thank you very much for coming and talking to us about this incredible, important topic and how it is so relevant, especially for this time of the year where we need to make sure we address absolutely everything in our life, our finances, our health, our wealth, and our relationships. So over to you. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Harsheila and why are you so passionate about this topic this evening?
Hi, Gideon. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Welcome to everyone to our platform. And I trust I can make it worth your while. So, creating boundaries that protect your peace. Why is that so important to me? So, you're putting me on the spot right at the beginning, Gideon.
Now, we first want to know, what is it like being Harsheila every single day?
Okay. It's great. As you said, mom, top of the list. And now I've got to understand that I have a young adult and he's got to live his life. And I can't keep messaging and phoning him like, what are you doing? So that's top of my list. I'm an adventurer and a lifelong learner. That's what fuels me. And that's why I'm on this journey and how I can help people, because anxiety has been part of my life for a long time and burnout as well. And through doing a lot of research, personal growth, and going through doctors, homeopathic routes, they just give you meds and send you home. But doing the work, the internal work, led me to this realization that boundaries is the thing that was being crossed, and I didn't know how to say no.
Sure.
So think about it for a minute.
Sure. So Harsheila, this topic this evening is not just for everybody else out there, but it's actually something that hits home. It's something that's extremely personal to you. And
Absolutely.
Your life went in this direction and it was steered in this direction. You do what you do today because of your personal experience, because of what happened to you.
Yeah.
And there's nobody better to learn from than someone that's actually gone through the process, someone that actually experienced the hardships, someone that actually bought the t-shirt, is wearing the t-shirt, and now can tell us all about it. So, thank you, Harsheila. Please take it away.
Okay. So let's look at boundaries and how to protect the peace. So very, very much close to my heart. So what does having boundaries mean to you? So you're welcome to post in the chat and tell me what the word boundaries means for you. Have a think about it. Does it mean a line, a limit, a rule? Because that's what we normally think of. You have a boundary around your home. You have a boundary. There we go. If you're coming in, stepping up, okay, respecting my time, mental health, saying no to what I would normally say yes to, defining a framework, safeguarding, Loretta says. Those are all excellent answers. Thank you for that. And there's another one. Prioritize what's important, drawing a line, having a limit to certain things in life. Amazing. Protecting happiness. That's one that's often overlooked, hey?
Yes.
Safety. Safety is big. Yeah. Life demarcation. Excellent. Making choices that benefit you. Exactly. Thanks for that, Samuel. Cool. So we've got a good idea of what it means, removing yourself from unhealthy situations. Yes. Cool. Keep the chat going. We'll look at them a little later as well. So as Gideon asked, why boundaries? And it's important because when we have the anxiety, burnout, and depression, then one of the big things is boundaries have been crossed. Others have crossed your boundaries, or you have not set the boundaries. So when you do not set boundaries, anyone can step in. Think about your home. There's a boundary wall, and that means that's your space. So if you're having a party and you're having guests over and you need some extra parking space, you will, with respect, ask your neighbor if they have some space, if you can have some cars parked there. You wouldn't just go because the boundary is there, is marked. That is important to know. So let's look at today we look at 4 types of boundaries. How to identify when the boundaries have been crossed, and then some tools that you can implement already. So let's start with that. First one is a time boundary. So when we think of time boundary, what comes to mind? The most common thing that comes up is for people at work, because we already have a defined time. It could be 9 to 5. And then when the boss comes in at 4 p.m. and asks for a task to be completed, that's when our boundaries get crossed. That's when anger, anxiety, frustration develops. And we don't know how to say no. What do we do? We're going to look at how we can. So there's different areas of life to look at here in terms of your health, your wealth, relationships. Where else does time boundaries come in? Think about going bowling. Does anyone go bowling? Do we have this? Sorry?
I haven't done any bowling for quite a while. I think it's about time. Are you inviting me, Harsheila, to go bowling?
I think we should. It's also been a while since I've been there. So when we go bowling, they have those barriers that we can put up. And when you roll the ball, there's focus. So you more likely going to hit the target, the pins. When those boundaries are down, the ball can fall to the side and then you've done nothing. So what does this mean for time? So if you have a project that you have in mind and you don't set a boundary of time, say you need 2 hours every evening to work on that project. If you don't set the time, if you don't tell your family that that's what you're doing and don't follow through, then the boundaries are not there and you're not going to achieve your target. So that's the point of time boundaries. If you want to create a better exercise routine for yourself and you set that hour aside, then you will reach your goal. But if it's never on your calendar, you're never going to get to it. And then at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you will not have achieved it. So that's one way of looking at boundaries. Time boundaries. Very important. So time boundaries give you focus. Okay. Let's look at another one. Another type of boundary we need is emotional boundaries. So for emotional boundaries, it's all about communication. The better communication we have, the better our relationships are. And how do we understand emotional boundaries? Anyone?
Are you asking us what do we know about emotional boundaries?
Yes.
About saying no when someone asks you something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, if there's anybody that wants to unmute and maybe share with us or put in the chat box, you're more than welcome to do that.
Going when you need space.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Cool. So let's look at.
There we go. Yes, a hand raised. JD, please go ahead.
Greetings, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well and doing good. So, what I believe in emotional boundary is do not want to say no because gonna affect on how this person is gonna feel, or. But I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to say about this. So yeah, I believe that's emotional boundary, not knowing how to say no, yet knowing that this person is in need of something and you can't give it. So that's how I understand it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Harsheila, if I'm correct, it's very much that feeling of feeling guilty when you haven't done anything wrong.
Yes, definitely.
Is that what you're trying to say, JD?
Yes, 100%, sir.
Okay, great. Yes. All right. There's some more hands raised here. So is it sorry, I can't pronounce your name. My apologies. I see, is it okay? Please go ahead if you're unmuted.
Okay, thank you very much. What I understand about emotional boundaries on my case, I would like to talk about knowing, okay, like not allowing someone's actions affect you emotionally, when you start being emotionally dependent on other people.
That's
True.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, that's powerful.
Very, very powerful. Can you say that again, please? I want to write it down.
Okay, so knowing when to not be emotionally dependent on other people.
Okay.
Like how other people are going to act, then it starts ruining your whole day. Yeah, putting a boundary on your emotions. Whether someone says this, acts this way towards you, they don't respond to your messages, they don't act how you wanted, then it affects you emotionally. I think that's very important.
All right. So what you're saying is you don't allow anybody else's opinion of you to affect how you feel about yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because that's triggering when you react to that. Yes. Cool.
So Lorette says emotions is all about feelings, sad, happy, etc. And it's also about EQ, emotional intelligence, high or low emotional intelligence. Yes.
Absolutely. I see Pumsile has a hand up.
Yes, Sheila. I'm thinking also to say no without feeling guilty to people. And then the other one is how much you share with people. It protects your emotional boundary.
Mm-hmm. So we will look at a few of those later. Phrases you can say instead of no, because often the thought of saying no creates a lot of anxiety already. So there's ways to say no without using the word no.
Yeah.
Nobesetu's got a hand up.
Yes, and Jerry King as well. Jerry King. I think that might have been a miss hand raise there. So probably an emoji, and then the hand raise was kicked. Nebusitu, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Please go ahead.
Yes, hello everyone. I also
Hello.
thought, yes, I'm also thinking understanding the triggers, because I think you might have maybe child trauma or something that might have happened before. You can't prevent that from you remembering, but if you understand what triggers a certain emotion, then you are able to handle it better. So, or to avoid certain things that triggers it. Or I think an awareness of what triggers you and what emotion does it bring, then you're able to handle it, because not everything you can avoid, but you can try and manage it better if you have an understanding.
Absolutely. Very important. A very important thing you raised. You're right. Certain phrases will trigger you. So I'm going to go, Simon, let me teach you this now. How to avoid that. When something triggers a person, imagine you say a sentence, why did you do this? And it always triggers the other person. You're just asking for clarity, trying to communicate better. Instead of asking that question, let's use the burger method. Who knows the burger method of having a conversation?
Tell us about it.
Okay.
Yes.
So the burger conversation goes like this. First, think of your favorite burger and think of that patty inside. When you're saying, why did you do that? That's the triggering question. So that's the juicy patty in the middle. So if you ask me for a burger and I just give you that patty, how are you going to react? Are you going to be happy? Is that a burger? Not very tasty on its own, is it? So when we're having conversations, let's use the burger method. So first start with a sentence. You know, I really care about you. This is really important. You are really important to me. And then you put that juicy part in the middle. I just like to understand why you do this. Can you help me understand, please? And then end with the bun again. You know, I really appreciate our relationship and everything we do together. And yeah, thank you. So can you see how that changes the conversation?
Yes.
The emotional charge comes down completely. Then you don't have the boxing hands up here. Why? And then the moment you say why, anyone, anywhere, work situation, personal relationships, just try that. Start a conversation with why and just imagine this happening.
Yes.
The hands are up, defensive mode on. So it's about communication. Emotionally, we are triggered a lot. So let's look at a way of how to identify when boundaries are crossed. So first of all, do a body scan. Feel where you're feeling that emotion, that trigger. Where is the pain? When someone says something, is it a headache or does your heart start pumping faster? That is when you can identify there's an emotional boundary being crossed for you. For another person, it might not seem like a triggering question, but for you, it may have been, as the lady said earlier, a childhood thing. Your parents always said that to you to make you do something. And when anyone else says that, it triggers you once again. So feel that in your body, step one. Step two, reflect. What belief is that related to? And if you say no, what are you thinking? That you'll be rejected? Will they reject me if I say no? So feel that feeling. What is coming up for you? Number three, let's journal. Journal about it. What happens when I say no? What feelings are coming up for you there? And then we go a little deeper into this emotional boundary and say, did I over-explain myself? So there's 4 steps to this, identifying when that boundary is being crossed. So that's the lesson here on the emotional boundary being crossed. Okay, we did time, emotional. Let's look at material boundaries being crossed. What does that look like? Material boundaries could be people borrowing stuff from you, your own personal boundaries, possibly in terms of money. If you set a budget and you overspend every month, you're not sticking to that boundary, are you?
It depends on who asks. You know, if it's your son that asks, Harsheila, you're definitely going to overspend, right? If it's the neighbor,
Absolutely.
you need to make a call. So
Yeah.
you're asking, you've got to be very specific about that, because I'm pretty sure if you ask Marty or we ask you, will you overspend on your family or your kids, you're definitely going to say yes.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else? Any suggestions on material boundaries being crossed?
So people that always borrows things from you, they always, you know, they never have nothing. They always want to borrow something, and then when you ask it back, it's always broken, or you need to take it in for a service, or you need to, you know, ask it back 1,000 times. They don't use it and bring it back. So nowadays, I just have a very simple philosophy. Someone wants to borrow something, oh no, I borrowed it to someone else and they didn't bring it back. So I'm sorry, I can't give it to you.
Yeah. I also have a boundary on books. I love my books.
Yes.
And they're often resources for me.
Yes.
And so I'm always making notes and marks, turning the pages over. And if anyone needs to borrow it, I'm like, sorry, this is mine.
My
But-
notes, my thoughts. Here you go.
Yeah.
I just want to see, there was, okay, no, the hand was lowered. Sorry about that. Carry on. Thank you.
So think about an athlete or a business person. They often, I see Gail is saying she's also the same with her books. Yeah. They very specific with their material possessions.
Mm.
You know, they need their stuff, they need their space, they need that for success. So often we need to say no for our success. So yeah, if someone keeps borrowing money from you, then how are you going to get on your financial journey?
Mm.
So very, very important there. Okay, number 4 is the physical boundary. That's one that is a very sensitive topic. Someone taking something without asking, especially. Don't see that message.
Especially when it comes to personal things.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So on physical boundaries. So physical boundary, the simplest way to describe it is if you stretch your arms out, that is your physical boundary. So if anyone steps within that space, they're in your physical boundary. How often do we have that?
Mm.
Very often. Friends, family, loved ones. And then if you feel uncomfortable in any situation,
Mm.
what can we do about that? You can always take a step back out of that space. Often when people are trying to intimidate you, they'll come straight at you, very
Mm.
close.
Mm.
And then again, we do these checks, body scan. Am I feeling unsafe? And then you can walk away, move away. Physical boundaries often related to abuse. And that's a very serious matter and often goes unchecked, as well as we spoke about emotional. It also falls under the category of abuse, which gets checked even less because there's no physical signs of that abuse.
Mm.
So that's a really a matter that's really close to my heart as well. So how do we deal with all of this?
So, Harsheila, before you jump into how we deal with that, Pumzile says access to your home. That's also a very important one, because how do you say to someone, no, listen, I'm not at home right now, when you're actually at home and you don't want them in your space? What do you do? So that's probably one thing that you can answer. And then Samuel says when you step into your bubble, just walk away. Yes, sometimes that's not possible because you're sometimes at your home, you're sometimes in your space, your own space. How do you deal with that? How do you set up that physical boundary instead of walking away?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. In certain situations, we are able to safeguard our physical space because we live in these gated communities, and then they have to phone through before they knock on your door. So, and hopefully they phone beforehand and you can say, oh, sorry, we're out. But there are a few other situations.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Others
I
are
sometimes
not good, actually.
I find it very difficult in shopping centers, especially. I don't like people in my space. And then sometimes you stand in a queue and they would like come right, they would like right be there. So I always have like one of those hand trolleys, even if I don't have anything in it and it's always behind me. I want my space. So yeah. Unfortunately, I can't do that when I'm at home and I want to keep one space.
I saw a comment there, unwanted hugs.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a few ways of dealing with that one. There's one that works well. You like, especially if it's a greeting, then you put your hands together and say hello, and it kind of stops the person. So especially in certain cultures, the hand gesture is very much appreciated as a greeting. So you can try that. Hello, nice to meet you. And then your arms are there, so I don't know how they might just pull back from the hug. Were there some other comments, Gideon?
Yes, Ricky says those horrible old uncles that wants to hug and kiss you. Sure.
Yeah.
Just extend the hand, Ricky. Say, today I'm doing the hand thing. Put up a mask. Say, I'm a little bit sick. I don't want you to get or catch the flu.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. What have we discovered here? The 4 types of boundary, and we have a nice acronym, TEMP, T-E-M-P. Time, emotional, material, and physical. Those are the 4 boundaries to think about. When you're feeling uneasy in your body, ask yourself, is it a boundary that's been crossed? What is happening? And if you feel compelled to stay within that boundary or allow that boundary to be crossed, we need to ask, what is that belief system? Will I be rejected? Is that my belief system? Why can't I say no? Is my safety at risk? And then journal. What would happen if I said no? That comes in with the safety factor. Very much with the emotional and the physical boundaries when they crossed. So be aware of those. And then did I over-explain myself? I'm going to give you a few phrases where we can stop doing that. So before we get to that, let's look at now what setting these healthy boundaries gives us. So we get respect, like with the physical boundaries. When you say no, we get to focus more because we give ourselves the time. We achieve success because we have those boundaries in place. When we're at work, people respect those boundaries. But as the world has evolved and there's a lot of people working from home now, often those boundaries are crossed a lot, especially with time. They're like, you're at home. Why can't I visit you? Or what are you doing? But they forget that's your work hours and you may be at home, but that's your space to work. So we want success, we got to put some boundaries in place. Safety is a big one. Clarity, calm, confidence, all of those come as a result of reducing that anxiety, that load that we carry when our boundaries are being crossed. Peace. We all want peace. We want better relationships. And that's important. In relationships as well, there's important boundaries to be set. One person comes from work and they need a half an hour nap before they can engage. And another one, and the other person just needs to come home and talk about their day. So there's a communication, a conversation to have. This is what I need. This is what I need. And then you understand each other better, and that's how things work better as well. So now to the juicy part. You can get some tools for setting healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Anyone got suggestions or ideas? Okay, the first one would be set a goal. That helps you set boundaries. So if you, as we said, finishing the project, let everybody around you know, guys, in the evening, I need 2 hours, a few times a week, decide whether it's the weekend or a couple of days in the week, and set your time, set goals. Your exercise routine, your eating plan, whatever it is, set a goal, and then let the people around you know about it. That helps. Okay? So that's how we say no to other things. So if you've set 2 hours, so if you've set this hour every Thursday evening to attend, people know not to disturb you. No dinner dates, no other distractions, no TV time. There we go. So step 1, set a goal. Number 2, there's phrases. I think you're all going to enjoy these. Instead of saying no, you can say, that doesn't work for me. Where could you use that? Any suggestions?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Everywhere. It's a good phrase, right?
The
Yeah,
brilliant.
very good.
Usable. No, thank you. That's a complete sentence. Well, they say no is a complete sentence, but thank you makes it a little bit more palatable. Okay, another one is, I'll pass on that. And I'm thinking of food at the moment. Yeah, when there's a whole lot of cakes and donuts. And yeah, I love my sugary treats, but I had to learn a few phrases. I'll pass on that. Okay. Think about gossip now. Think about if you gossip, if you participate in gossip, if you have friends that gossip. What do?
Call the person that we are gossiping about. Say it to them.
Often we join a conversation, and if there's gossip happening, you can be quiet, right? You don't contribute to the conversation. But when you want to really take a stand and be authentic, that, you know what, I don't participate in gossip, you can just say, oh no, I'd rather not discuss that. Because at some point they're going to ask for your feedback or your contribution to the gossip. Okay, another one. I can't commit to that. Because being a mom and now being an empty nester, I understand also that when our kids are younger, we use them as ways to get out of things. Oh, my child's tired, he's got exams. All of those things come into play. No, he's sick, I need to leave. And how long can we do that? So I'm in that situation now where I need to be authentic. And I've got to decide, I have time on my hands, but what do I choose to do with my time? And it often doesn't go down well with everyone. Like, why? Like, you just can't say no. So I can't commit to this. I've got a training on which I need to prepare for. Or I've had a busy week and I just want to stay home. And that's got to be good enough. And if you can't do that and the person can't respect that, how healthy is that relationship? Okay. Here's one for, I find people who are struggling with bullying, even especially in adults, where people keep completing your sentences or interrupting you. And then what you can do is something you have to practice actually. All these phrases, you can save them and see what situation you'd like to use them in. Because if your boundaries are being crossed, it's probably not a once-off. It happens again and again in that particular situation. So choose a phrase and then literally practice it. Go through that situation in your mind and practice how you would say these phrases. So, in an event of an interruption, you can say, I need to stop you there. That'll be a surprise because normally you just keep quiet and think into the background. So very confidently, not overly confident, but just say, I need to stop you there and just let me finish what I'm saying and continue with your story. That could be a tough one, but try it. Yeah. Anyone had that? Okay. And then number 3, here's another tool. One thing we got to remember is what we can control. So draw a circle. If you've got some space to write on, draw a circle, and within that circle, write down all the things that you can control. My video is looking weird at the moment. Anyway, so draw a circle and write down the things that you control. So that would be what you think, what you say, what you do. We're putting it in simple terms. Think about that. What you think, what you say, what you do. And how you respond or react to anything in any situation. So those are the things we can control. That goes into that circle. So that's your circle of control. And then draw a circle outside of that, a bigger circle. And in that space, write down all the things you do not control. And that is what other people think, what others say, what others do, how others respond, and how others react. We can't control the weather or the traffic and a whole lot more. So once you have your 2 circles, everything that you control, everything that's out of your control, then we can say, feeling the way I feel in my body, feeling that my boundaries are being crossed, let them do, be, say whatever they want to do, and let me do, say what I need to preserve my peace, my joy, my power. And how do we do that? We plan for every situation, especially coming into the festive season. There's many get-togethers, there's many things happening. So have a plan A, plan B, and a plan C, right? Go to the gathering, have a plan A. Okay, this is what I want to eat, drink. This is the amount of time I want to spend there. It's super important because the moment you feel that anxiety coming up, that means it's time to go. It's not the right place for you. So already have a plan in place. Is this a lunch meetup? Is this a tea time chat? Or is this in the evening going on till forever? And you decide. Do you have a limit on your time? Do you need to keep to your bedtime boundary routine? Because you have exercise plan in the morning and you have things to do the next day. So that's all you have to do. That you totally plan A, B, and C. Let them do whatever they need to. Let me do what I need to preserve my peace, joy, and power. Because the number of clients that come through during the holiday season is phenomenal. The anxiety, the stress, depression. Gideon and I were part of the team that worked through the festive season last year. It was really eye-opening for me. The number of people that are reaching out on Christmas Day. So guys, think about this. There's serious boundaries being crossed. People don't even realize that that's what it is. So I'd like to leave you with a quote from Brené Brown. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Think about that. Thank you. Thank you for your attention, everyone.
Sure. Harsheila, that's amazing. Can you say that quote again, please? Johannes, I'm going to give you time just now. Just give us that quote again, please.
Okay. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others.
Sure. Wow. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Wow. Sure, Harsheila, thank you so much. That was really very insightful. I know there's a lot of questions. I know there's a few comments. And I know Johannes had made a comment there as well. So Johannes, I'm going to give you opportunity. Please unmute yourself.
No, I just wanted to say thank you very much for this. It's such a crucial precautionary measure, I would like to say.
Wow. That's putting it very nicely. Precautionary measure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like PG always says, proper planning plus preparation prevents poor performance. So putting your boundaries up is definitely preventing poor performance, right?
Yeah. Plan A, B, and C is going to help you get there.
Excellent. All right, guys, is there anybody that's got any questions? Anybody that want to give us some feedback? You're welcome to add some comments in the chat box. We do have a slide that I want to just share with you as well when we're done with all the questions that Harsheila kindly prepared for all of us. So Harsheila, can I put that slide up for you?
Yes, sure. Thank you.
You get there. All right, here we go. Here we go. Alrighty.
Any questions?
So this is a little bit of a summary of what you've explained to us, is the 4 different boundaries about time, emotions, or emotional, material, and then physical. Yeah. And then just how we actually set those boundaries is through setting a goal, setting a task, allowing the different phases. Yes. The phrases. Yes, I like that. And then the last part was the things that you've got in control and what you've got out of your control. Wow, that's amazing. Very, very nice. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the chats. Give me some feedback here. Gail, you're welcome to unmute. Go ahead, please.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you, Harsheila. That was amazing. And boundaries are so important. And I only learnt this late in life, to set them and to set them kindly. And sometimes it doesn't, you can't always set them kindly. And then you just have to be brutally honest. And that's how I kind of try and live. But a lot of people they won't step over your boundaries, they jump over them, and they keep jumping and jumping and jumping until you have to be brutally honest. There are really thick-skinned people out there. But thank you. You've given me some lovely phrases, and I won't move on those anymore. I will say them and that's it. So thank you.
Glad.
So, Gail, if you are pointing those phrases towards me, just remember I also have those phrases now, so I'm going to use them right back.
We'll be in a what do you call it? Like a sure, I've lost the word.
A war of boundary setting.
Competition.
Yes. You cross mine and I'll cross yours.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much, Gail. Nobositu, you're welcome to unmute. I butchered your name again. My apologies.
No problem. It's Nobesutu.
Nobositu,
Okay.
there we go. I'll remember that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation. I've learned so much, especially first of all the burger approach.
Yes,
conversation, because before I think I'm one of those people that just tell you the truth as it is sometimes, and it doesn't always go well. But I'm really going to try that one, because I think it's gonna make what you're trying to put across to be received well, rather than creating more boundaries and personal. Yes.
Versus the boxing gloves up there.
Yes. And also what I also enjoyed, which I've also learned, is having that plan A and plan B and plan C before you go into any situation, so that at least you're well prepared and you won't even find yourself overreacting in certain situations. So I think those 2 things are my takeaways, and also using the phrases that I'm sorry I can't commit to that, and not even feeling that you need to over explain yourself. And then if you have to explain yourself, it makes it even harder for you to say why you can't commit, because you're thinking, now I have to share, I have to say something, I might end up lying or whatever it is. But I think just using those short phrases and feel that you've said enough, that's one of the tools that I'm taking away from this session. So I'm very grateful for this session. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sure. Nobositu. I just want to say I like that summary that you've shared there, because it's when we actually reflect and we actually put it under our own words, that we give it back, that we actually absorb it, and that we actually get the opportunity to understand it ourselves. So thank you very much for giving that feedback and for reflecting on what you've learned. That's how we learn, and that's how we remember, and that's how we can improve ourselves every single time. So thank you very much for that. Right. Jerry King, you've got your hand raised. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I just wanted to also make a comment with regard to today's session, especially with the matter in question about setting boundaries. I must say that so many people have failed in life due to the fact that they could not set the boundaries.
Mm.
And with that being said, this was a very profound session, and I hope all the people in attending will go out there and be able to know when to set boundaries. But I'm 100% sure that so many people have suffered too much loss because of not being able to say no, or not being able to know as and when to refuse when someone or some it could be either colleagues, family members, friends asking for something, and then you fail to say no, and then now you're suffering the consequences of not being able to set the boundary.
Yes.
So that this was a very informative session, and I thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much for that feedback, and once again, thank you, Harsheila. So I wanna challenge everyone that's on the call this evening, whether you watch this live or whether you watch the recording, is to go and set just one boundary this week, between now and next week, and come back next week and give us feedback on how it worked out. Maybe take one phrase that you're going to implement and that you're going to test and that you're going to use, and where you might always let go of your boundary, set that boundary firm in place, and challenge yourself. Say, right, this week I'm definitely going to do that. I'm just going to try that at one situation, get feedback on that. And remember, the only way you can actually learn is when you take what you've heard, you apply it, you get a little bit of feedback, you then make some small adjustment, you go and apply it again, get some more feedback, adjust it and apply it again. The more you get the feedback, the more you can make the adjustment until you have that boundary firmly in place. So thank you very much. So Harsheila, this has been an incredible session. Thank you very much for putting this together for us. It is absolutely magic. And next week, just to quickly remind everybody of our weekly schedule, every Monday morning and Friday morning, we have a results maker training for all our professionals from 6 to 7. So if you are a professional looking to grow your practice, or you need the skills to elevate your practice and to make more of a difference, you are welcome to reach out to me and get more insights on that. On a Wednesday morning, we have our weekly practitioners pulse meeting, where all our Paradigm practitioners comes together. It is an instrument that we developed and that we are using to help mental health practitioners to have transformation within their practice. And then on a Thursday evening, 6 till 7, we have this momentum session that is open to the public, and then also to our professionals, that is actually conducted by the professionals, part of ISIC Help International, for us to come and fill our cup. And this evening we had wonderful Harsheila that gave and shared with us her insights. So on the 5th of December, we're going to have a workshop specifically on self-harm and burnout. So if you are interested in that topic, I will share an invite again, or reach out to me if you want to get the registration details on that. It's a workshop that is put together by our psychology professional, Marley Viljoen. She dives deep into every single one of these workshops, exactly how the psychology behind all these different topics work, how impact moments in our life affects us, and how we need to, and what we need to do to heal from them. And then, Harsheila, I've got a very nice surprise. Following on your session from this evening, next week, Thursday, we're actually going to dive deeper into the subject on setting boundaries by actually looking at the reticulating activating system called the RAS, your satellite dish, that you point towards something based on your past experiences. So every single time we get to put a boundary in place, we actually point our satellite dish towards something that we want. We apply self-care, and we make sure that we, first of all, look after ourselves before we try and please everybody else. And next week, Thursday, we have a special guest, Lydia, that's going to dive into how to set your RAS into the direction where you want to go, and also how to overcome negative thought patterns. So I think these two subjects complement one another absolutely perfectly. And it was quite amazing how, it just happened that you guys are 1 week apart from each other. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Right. So next week, Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, if you know of anybody that is battling with negative thoughts, well, let's rather put it like this. If you know of someone that doesn't battle with negative thoughts, you don't have to invite them. Otherwise, just invite everybody, all right? Because we all have negative thoughts from time to time. Make sure that you invite them. Make sure that they register onto our platform. You will see when we do register someone, we do ask them who invited them, because we want to maintain the efficacy of the group. And we want to make sure that everybody is protected in terms of their personal information. Right. Then, guys, we also have a practitioner workshop that comes up at the end of November, which is really exciting, based on our brain instrument that we developed, the Paradigm Profile. Absolutely next level transformations, breakthroughs. If you want to find out more about that, please do reach out to me. My number is on all the WhatsApp groups. But if you were invited this evening by one of our professionals and you have any questions about maybe getting more insights or more information, please do get back to the person that invited you onto the platform this evening. And if you don't have contact with that person, you don't know who they are, please do reach out to me. Right. So let me just quickly stop this happening from here. There we go. Wonderful. All right. So Harsheila, you know what? Again, I want to say thank you so much for what you've done here this evening for us. I think if we lay in bed this evening and we really think about the little nuggets and the gems that you gave us, there's no reason why we cannot not take action. This is something that you've made us aware now. Now that we know, we need to do something about it. So thank you very, very much. This was really insightful. And one last time, guys, can I see the streamers and the hands going for Harsheila? Let's go.
Thank you, everyone.
All righty. Great stuff. Harsheila, thank you so much. Until we see each other again next week, Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, I will leave you with this. I will look after me for you. Will you please look after you for me and all of us? Thank you so much, Harsheila. Have a wonderful evening. Look after yourself. And you may have a piece of cake now. You did a great job. Thank you so much.